Created live on Fireside.
One of our sponsors. So excited for this. So Angela Brown is here. She's a leadership and a business coach. And the whole time when you guys saw me looking over here, I kept being like, where's Angela? I got to get her. Love the color, by the way.
Thank you. I like
so
yours
good.
too. We compliment each other
Thank
very
you,
well.
Thank you. We do. Please introduce yourself.
Angela Brown, and I am an executive leadership coach and business coach. And I call myself the business matchmaker as well, because when I coach individuals on business, I really uncover what their true purpose, passion, and mission is. A lot of people, they kind of wander out there, they throw the ideas out there, but not really know really what they're focused on and what their sweet spot is. So through my leadership coaching, personal leadership coaching, I help people to really uncover their sweet spot so that when they go out looking for their next career or business that they want to purchase, they're really in their zone. They really know what they want to do.
And we talked a little bit outside about me being a storytelling consultant, about those stories. Everyone knows that, watches, I'm so passionate about stories because they do connect. So I love that you kind of find those little pieces and then help people thread that together into what their next pivot is. Oh, did you hear I did pivot and I did thread together?
Exactly. So what I do is, I have a workbook that I created that I take all of my clients through. And it's only 38 pages, but what it really does is it uncovers who that authentic person is underneath, right? Because we'll always do our best when we're living in our own passion and not living someone else's narrative.
Right.
And so many times we get started in life and we start going off on these paths that maybe other people think we should be on, or maybe life dictates because of money or finances. You end up in a career that, it pays the bills, but it really isn't hitting on all cylinders. So when you go through this process, it really does help you uncover how you can get paid and enjoy what you're doing as well. So it could be business ownership, it could be a nonprofit, it could be whatever, but I help individuals figure out what that is and then lead them to that.
And now how did you find that?
Because I went through a time in my life where I built a multi-million-dollar business at age 23, and I built another business at age 30, and really didn't know what my next step was. I said I had a fair amount of success, but what's next? And so I floundered for 6 months to a year, kind of throwing the spaghetti up against the wall to see what stuck, and waste a lot of time and money. And then I found a process that helped me determine what my sweet spot is, helping other people realize things about themselves that they didn't know was possible.
And what I think I love so much, we're so, not only do we match, but like what I do and what you do is like so really intertwined. What I think is so important is that you've gone through it, so you're able to then, when you talk to people, it's not like you just went to school for it. You lived that life. So you have that real life experience that you're going to be able to really kind of connect and help people.
Oh, 100%. It was through necessity that I invented this process. And it's helped so many people, because some people are in different transitions in life. Maybe they're empty nesters, or maybe they're coming out of college and really don't know what they want to do, or it could just be mid-career, whatever it is. Or you want to start your own business. So I also do business brokering. So those individuals who decide, I think I may want to be an entrepreneur and start a business or buy a business, I can help people with that. I love that as well.
And you can see you're sitting right under your logo, which is so
cool. It was perfect. Perfect.
It is perfect. Well, I can't wait to. I know we're going to be doing a lot more stuff.
Yes, I'm going to be in Kansas City for the draft.
Yes.
I'll be doing a professional development workshop there,
which I'm so excited about. So you guys know that we bring this podcast to all those. So here at the Super Bowl, Angela's this podcast sponsor. Then we do the draft. She's going to be doing the breakout. So that is going to be so fun and also so awesome and informative for this group. What a great group to get in front of. What a great group for you to really connect with, because there's so many entrepreneurs out there in this world, and so many people that want to share their story and figure out how and what their next step is. So I love that you're doing that. So thank you so much.
I'm excited too.
Tell people where they can find you.
Okay, you can find me on Instagram.
Here, go get closer there. Yeah.
You can find me on Instagram at AB for Angela Brown _biz, BIZ _broker, BROKER under Angela Brown.
Thank you so much again for joining YNS Live with NFL Thread, and thank you for being one of our podcast sponsors. Welcome to YNS Live, and I love you too. YNS Live. With NFL Thread here live on Fireside, live from Ocean 44 here in Arizona. So one of our favorites from last year, and I want to kind of preface this, because when we talked, we talked about how you were you helped Sharice be like the founding member of off the field because
Yes.
you and Tim and Cerise would go to these events.
Yes.
And they would be like, go to the mall. And you're like, I don't want to go to the mall.
Right.
I don't want to golf. I want to do something. So they created off the field. So that was like you were really instrumental in that.
Yes.
And then we
Yes.
started talking about some tragedy and loss.
Yes.
And that how you had something that you really wanted to create, but you didn't know.
Yes.
And then we have one of our pop-up shops, Zoe Hoop
Yes.
here, who creates
Yes.
this wonderful jewelry. You were like, I got to talk to her. So please tell us a little
Yes.
bit about what has formed from
Yes.
that interaction and that meeting.
Okay. So I reached out to Miss Caroline after meeting her here last year. And we had several conversations back and forth. And I said, what can we do as a piece to recognize loss, tragedy, you missing someone that you once loved that's no longer here, something tangible, something you can hold on to. And we developed, she is the designer. I just helped her come up with the concept. But it's two people hugging each other.
That is beautiful.
Yes, that's the piece. And
So I don't, if you guys, you can, when you're watching, you can zoom in. You know that people do this? You can zoom in right
Yes.
there. That is beautiful.
yeah, so it's silver bracelet, silver necklace, gold bracelet, gold necklace. And we are calling the line Eternity Shore.
That is what, and I love
Yes.
that the connection happens here.
Yes,
And
it happened right here at
It did.
NFL Thread, baby.
And the thing that's so crazy is that Caroline was on my podcast. I think she found me on LinkedIn. I don't even remember how, but I had her talk about her story, and it's such a
Yes.
beautiful story.
Beautiful story.
So I contacted her. I mean, she's overseas. So
Yes.
I was like, hey, this is kind of crazy, but do you want to come to LA and be the pop-up shop? I think this community would love your jewelry.
Yes.
And she said, let me see. I don't know, but I think I
Yes.
kind of like it. She did it and then made that connection with you.
Yes.
And I know is here again. So you
Yes.
guys, Zoe Hoop, you guys have to go again.
Yes.
Such a beautiful story.
Zoe Hoop.
It's a wonderful what she did in her story. So I love that you guys did
Yes.
that. So tell them also where they can find you and
Well, I'll give out my phone number, 310-422-6674, or my email address, allenrangela@gmail.com.
so wonderful. Thank you again. I'm so
Thanks,
happy to see you.
Juliet.
Oh my God, love to see you. Wow.
darling.
Oh my God, you look gorgeous. So
Okay.
good to see you. Okay, so welcome back to YNS Live with NFL Thread. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Renee Reese.
Okay, you're gonna get closer.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Renee Reese.
And we were just talking. You're an Eagles fan.
Yes, I am a diehard Eagles fan. Genuinely, my husband played for the Eagles for quite some time, and now he's working in Philadelphia on a radio station supporting Eagles sports talk. So I am a diehard Eagles.
I love that. And so, right, I'm wearing green. So I was just telling my husband grew up in the Bronx. So he is a Bronx boy. He is a Giants lover. And when we met, it was like, well, wait a second, you're an Eagles fan? And I was like, yeah, I grew up right outside of Philly. That's how Cindy and I met. I actually babysat the little Zordich
I
kids.
cannot believe that. I heard her say that.
Yeah.
So my husband, I think Mike was probably on his way out when
Okay.
my husband was coming in.
Right.
So they played a little quick stint together with the Eagles. So that's awesome.
Right.
But Cindy's amazing. Yeah. I
Yeah,
love
no,
her.
it is, and it's such a great team, and I'm so happy for them. And then I know like Andy Reid, so I'm like, this is hard because I also love Andy Reid.
I love Reed. I mean, we're close with them.
Right, 'cause, I
obviously.
mean, did your
my
husband
husband's
play-
entire career was with him.
Yeah.
And Tammy and I, we just have this great camaraderie. We always have done a lot of things together
Right.
while they were with the Eagles, and actually even afterwards. So I
That's
just talked to her
amazing.
yesterday. So I told her if we have to lose to anyone, which I hope we don't,
Right.
with them I'll be so happy.
Right. Oh
Their
my
win
gosh.
is our win.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do?
So I am obviously a mother, a wife, and all that fun stuff. But at the current time, I am a reading specialist. I teach first, second grade, just a literary specialist. So I work with kids. Prior to that, I did a lot of fashion styling for about 10 years, and I did a lot of work with
I
off the
can
field.
see. I love this outfit.
Thank you. So it's been a journey. My husband's post-football career, just trying to finagle my time, his time, and what we were going to be doing in regards to careers. So
Right.
interesting.
And we talk about that on the podcast a lot because it is, when you have players and they leave the league, it's kind of the time for someone else, like their spouse, to step in. But it's also you need to be there for them. You're raising kids. It's a lot of emotions, everything that you guys go
There
through.
are a lot of emotions. My husband He's a sports analyst, sports specialist, radio personality, what have you. But he started doing that in college at Michigan State. So he always knew, he's one of the very fortunate ones who always knew what he was going to be doing post-football career.
I love that, right.
I had an idea of what I was going to be doing, but I had to kind of really finagle a lot of things and, minimize and monitor and pull back just to kind of support his career.
Right.
So when I finally got to a point where I was on even ground, where we were settled, just trying to find something, was a bit more daunting because years have passed. I've been a mom, hands-on at home. So trying to get out there into the workforce, it was very daunting and a little, there was just a little struggle there.
Right. And, so I'm a mom as well. I stayed home with my kids. So then when they started getting older, I was like, what can I do? That's when I started my podcast. I did a little fitness thing for a while. And then in 2019, I started the podcast because I was feeling I needed like a creative outlet.
Yeah.
And that's it was like, I'm going to kind of daydream and think about what I want to do. So how did you decide that you wanted to go into becoming a reading specialist?
Well, I love fashion. So my journey with being a fashion stylist and working with different companies off the field, NFL, different, Neiman's, just a lot of different places. It was great, but I had to move around a lot.
Right.
It just was not conducive to our living environment.
Right.
I've always been. I went to school. I have my master's degree in education. I studied English education, undergrad at Michigan State. So it was a natural, process. It's something I love doing, working with kids and whatnot.
Right.
Even still, a lot more structured and settled, as opposed to being a fashion stylist.
Right.
So that took a lot of getting used to. But once my husband's, obviously his career settled, and he was he does, radio every day. Then it gave me an opportunity to really settle and to really embrace my career as a reading specialist.
That's amazing. I love that. And I love that journey because it is, you kind of dabble in different things that you love, but the fact that you went back to what you did in school is beautiful.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
And now, did you anything with the fashion, or you just are fashionable yourself? Or are you the one that your friends
not
call?
Not a stylist, not a cut-in. You mean, was I ever making anything?
No, I mean, are you the one that your friends go to and they're like, hey, can you tell me if this looks good? So you still get
They did at one time. I'm not sure if they're so much interested in my teacher wardrobe these days.
Right.
Which I have to say that, I get a lot of, I still try to keep it, working and everything with kids, but, you switch out your stilettos and and everything, and Birkenstocks are like my go-to for work.
Well, that's comfortable. You got to be comfortable.
And Doc Martens, so
I love
go
it.
from there.
I love it. Well, thank you. Can you tell people where they can find you if they want to know a little bit more about you? Do you have any social media?
I do still. Social media at Jada Renee Style. They can always look at me, or on via my husband's handle, because I try to stay a little. I'm not very, integrated into social media, especially with teaching,
right?
Because I don't want to fall into something I shouldn't.
That's smart. Yep, that's smart. That's smart. Yes. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.
And listen, go Birds.
Yeah, you can say it loud in there.
Go Birds.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Got my green on. Thank you so much. Welcome back to YNS Live with NFL Thread, here live at Ocean 44 in Arizona, live on Fireside. Please introduce yourself. And oh my God, I love that top.
Thank you so much. My name is Sarina Murphy. I'm from Tampa, Florida. I'm a former NFL wife, and I am super excited for this Super Bowl because, COVID happened, everything shut down, and we're back to normal.
Yes.
We're back to normal, guys, and I love it.
Yes. Well, because even last year, we did this event last year, but I remember it was like a touch and go thing with COVID. It was like, I don't know if you're going to be able to do this. You might not be able to do that. Traveling to LA. It was all. So I feel like this is the first year.
Yes.
It's like not talked about. It's like we are back to regular life.
Regular scheduled program.
Right. So, okay. So what do you do? Do you have a fashion background at all, or are you just?
I don't. I just love fashion. I've always been a fashion person ever since I was in middle school.
Oh,
I just love it. So I am a multi-entrepreneur. I do have a seasoning business. I'm a mentor to different, people that wants to have businesses. I'm a what is it called? motivational speaker. I mean, I do so much. It's just like I got my hands so much in a
But that's
pot.
what you're gonna do.
You know how they say you need to stay in one lane. I don't stay in one lane, guys.
I
I take up the entire highway. You know what I mean? So that's just me.
I love that. No,
Yes.
and I'm the same way. But the thing is, sometimes when people will say, like, if you have multiple passions, what do you do? And what I always kind of talk about, so I'm a storytelling consultant also with my podcast, and I help the people, okay, these are the paths that we've done, right? You've done. When you're passionate about something, if you can talk about something all day long, that is a passion. I have multiple passions.
Yes.
And I can talk probably like 3 of those passions all day long. The other ones, I dabble. So I know that those 3 things are like what I do. So I love that you have those core things that you know that you love.
Yes.
And that you're out there helping other people, because that's what we need. We need to
Absolutely.
be out there. We need to kind of shout from the rooftops, give people our energy, you know,
Yes.
because sometimes, especially after, COVID and all that went on, it's really important. So
It's very important.
How did you get involved in your multi-entrepreneur world?
So I've always been a person that has been driven to be in my own lane. I've worked in Fortune 500 companies. I worked in, working at a college and everything. It just wasn't for me. And I've always wanted to do something that was for myself, to build a legacy for not only my daughter, she's 18. And
goodness.
I know, I look good for my age.
Yes, you do.
So yes, I have an 18-year-old. She's soon to be going to college. But, just leaving a legacy, and sometimes you can't just really leave a legacy from a 9 to 5. And
Right.
a 9 to 5 is not for everybody.
Right.
And it wasn't for me. So
I hear you.
Yeah.
It wasn't. No, I'm the same. And I have a 17-year-old, and I was like, you're 30 years younger than me.
you look amazing.
Well, thank you. But I mean, wow. So I love that. And I think it's so important for people to think about that. What I always say is, some people call it meditating. I call it daydreaming.
Yes.
It's really important to kind of think about in your mind what you want your life to look at and look like, and then take those little steps to be like, hey, how does that look? What can I do? And that's how I dreamed up my podcast. I was walking my dogs, and literally podcasts kept coming to me. And I'm like,
yes.
I love stories. I love talking. I love talking to other people and learning about other people. So that's when I created YNS Live. And Your Next Stop is my main podcast. And then I have 4 other shows. So It's like
Right.
really, really fun. So I love that what you're doing. Tell people where they can find you.
So my social media is Sarina, SARINA_813. I do have a seasoning business. It's Nearest Spices, which is my name spelled backwards because I'm different,
Oh, I love that.
So that's ANIRAS spices.com. So you can find me in those different ways. I'm also in the process of working with VH1 for, a project. I'm not going to too much say a lot about it, but
Right.
I'm super excited because I've been trying to pitch this podcast. I mean, not podcast, but I've been trying to pitch this project for at least 3 years, and I am closer than I ever been. So I'm super excited.
So definitely go follow so you
Yes.
guys can see what's going to happen with VH1.
It's so crazy because, things align. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I remember going to the Soul Train Awards, and I was sitting next to an executive of VH1. I pitched my show. They loved it, and they told me to send it over, and I didn't have to go through any red tape, so I'm super excited about
Right.
that.
Well, that's the thing. You sat next to the person that was like what was meant to happen.
Yes.
So congratulations.
Thank
Oh,
you
now I
so
can't
much.
wait. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Well,
Yes.
congratulations. And thank you again for joining YNS Live with NFL Thread.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for this Super Bowl this year. I'm super excited for everything that's coming for NFL Thread, for yourself. Let's keep it moving.
Yes. And don't stay in your own lane. Go
Don't
out.
stay in your own lane.
Yeah, go
Take
go
up the
out.
whole highway.
I love That's a great quote.
Thank you
again.
so
Oh my God.
much.
Thank
It was
you
a
so much.
pleasure.
You too.
All right.